It's a country music time machine, taking us back to where the grass is green, with twangs and tales from days gone by. Let's ride those old trails neath the open sky, in our country music time machine. In our country music time machine.
Howdy, everybody. Welcome to the front porch right here on the Country Music Time Machine. And yes, this is the real front porch, not the fake one, not the background, the green screen. I'm here on the front porch of my house. It is actually what you see on the screen behind me during the front porch podcast. I'm going to show you a couple of videos right now that will show you what it looks like in the daytime, because it's almost dark here in Tennessee right. Of course, that's the front of the house there. That's where I'm sitting right now, but that's not a live shot. That's the recorded shot of the front of the house. And I'll show you the back of the house because I love it back there. Oh, that's great stuff. But welcome in. You know the rules. If you're tuned in, you've got to pop in the comments section where you're watching from. I want to say howdy to you. That's what we love to do around here. I'm checking out now. Maria Brown is always online from New Jersey. Howdy, New Jersey. Glad you are here with us tonight. And just to let you know, this is a front porch. And on the front porch, the family hangout. I've got family here tonight. They're going to be walking behind the screen sometimes as I talk about stuff. So you might see them online. I got William May online. William May's in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Howdy, North Carolina. So happy you're tuned in. I've got Michael just down the road, I-24 in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And I got my ex-brother-in-law. He's my brother from another mother. He's here with me. Yair, come here. Come behind. He's going to show his face on the camera.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, he helped me set up the lights and everything tonight, so we're trying to do it. Yeah. That's right. He's the strong one. I'm the weak one, you know. So
wait for Kevin for a long time.
That's right. That's good old Yair. Let's also show that J-Cat is tuned in. Pass the Coke. All right, J-Cat. I got the Coke right here. J-Cat, it's not the Mexican Coke like you're drinking, I think. It's the Middle Tennessee Coke that doesn't have sugar, I guess. Maybe it will have sugar in the future if RFK is the new health secretary or whatever. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, my Coke is primed and ready. Shout out to Mike Baker in Ohio. He's tuned in tonight with us on the front porch here on the Front Porch Podcast. We got another Jersey person, Rita Harris, watching from New Jersey. Jeff's Guitars is in New England tonight, like he always is. And my very own Country Music Time Machine historian, Joshua John, is tuned in up in New York. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to try to focus on this camera tonight, and I do pray that there's not a thunderstorm in Middle Tennessee tonight that just blows all this stuff away. It's a little dark. It's not usually this dark at this time of the day, but it is cloudy. It's been a day that's been flirting with rain and stuff like that, you know, so that's been a little difficult. Anyway, tonight I have no special artist, but I've got something very special to talk about. We're going to talk about the news, the country music news, and then big news about the Country Music Time Machine, the future of the Country Music Time Machine, a little bit about me too. That's why it's called A Fork in a Country Road, or In the Country Road, however it is. Let's get somebody else on the camera. Jacob, come around here, man. Say howdy to YouTube land there. That's my little nephew, Jacob. Yeah, he may have a YouTube channel in the future. If he does it, I will make sure you all know about it. Thank you, Jacob. All right. Oh, yeah, we do it like that. We do it like boom, boom. What is this? The boom? We did the boom, man. I started a few years ago, didn't I? Cool. Let's get into some country music news right now. And I'll bring up that country music news screen we always use. And we got a few things to talk about. First off, a shout out to the Country Music Time Machine members of the week. These are the folks, the four folks, or the top four anyway, that have tuned in and were incredibly active on the channel. Corey Beaver, Corey's been there before. F. Davis. I don't think F. Davis has ever been on the spotlight here before, but thank you, F. Davis. Reston Serpentine is on here quite often, and believe it or not, we've got the Incredible Hulk. That's what his profile photo looks like. Sir Mojo. Sir Mojo is one of the crew members of the week here on the Country Music Time. We think, thank y'all so much. Love you, especially those who take part, and especially those who just love country music like I do. Let's talk about the comments of the week, as I'm almost choking on the peanuts again. The first comment is from the guy who apparently looks like the Incredible Hulk, Mr. Mojo. In my opinion, if you don't get choked up at Teddy Bear, you're just as calloused as someone who didn't cry when Old Yeller died. And he is talking about, I'm going to say, okay, I'm allowed to say that now, about the Powerful Country Songs episode was released on Thursday. And those were just a bunch of great country songs that would probably make you cry or break your heart, or in one way or the other, just move you. And he's talking about the Red Sylvain song, Teddy Bear. And that song has been mentioned by commenters over the last 2 years quite often. A huge song in country music history. Not really a song, more of a talking thing, but incredibly powerful. Let's pop up another comment from that episode from Powerful Country Songs. As I look down, John Ross says, chiseled in stone took a new meaning when I lost my wife in July. John, we're sorry to hear about that. And yeah, Vern Gosden was incredible. We call him the voice quite often. And that song, Chiseled in Stone, the story is about when a loved one passes away, and Chiseled in Stone is a reference to the gravestone. So, a greatly written song and sung incredible by the one and only Vern Gosden. Another comment, let me look down here. This is from Brett Westcott. My mother just passed away on the 13th, and she wanted that song, Go Rest High on That Mountain, to be played at her funeral. So my brother-in-law made a video with a bunch of pictures and put that song on it. Yeah, Go Rest High on That Mountain by Vince Gill. I can't remember off the top of my head what year it was released. It was released in the 90s originally. And it moved us then. It's really a gospel song, but it was a country hit. Didn't make it to number one, but it was a great country hit. And we remember it from George Jones' funeral. Vince Gill and Patty Loveless sang it together, and Vince Gill couldn't even get through the song. It was that powerful, and it's a good song. So if you haven't checked out Powerful Country Songs yet, please do that. I think you'll enjoy it. It'll bring back some memories. It might make you cry, but, that's what country music does. That's one reason why country music is so powerful, and in my opinion, more powerful than other musical genres because of the lyrics and the feeling. It's just that good. Let's keep on rolling here with some country music news. And my man, Darius Rucker, he announced on his social media sites not long ago that he is moving to London. And it sort of pissed off a few people. They got upset about it. And my first reaction was that too. Darius Rucker is a South Carolina boy. He's a Gamecocks fan. He's also a Miami Dolphins fan. Sorry about that, Darius. You hadn't had much to celebrate lately. Neither have us Tennessee Titans fan. Nothing to celebrate there. But he chilled people out and said, I'm getting a house in London, but I'm a Carolina boy. I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful for Darius Rucker because He is one of the few of the black artists that have crossed over, like Charlie Pride and others, that he recognized the roots of country music. He understood the history, and Darius Rucker sings country music, which is cool, And so he may spend some time in not Columbia, but in London. But he'll be back to Columbia and Myrtle Beach and those other areas playing golf and watching the Gamecocks. So don't worry about that. And he also has a house here somewhere in Middle Tennessee. Here's some, I guess this could be good and bad news depending on how you take it. This is about an award show. The CMT Awards will not take place in 2025. They've been around for many years, I guess since CMT has been around. And it's not going to take place this year. And the reason is because some media corporate buyout or something. I don't know what's going on. But, maybe Beyonce is sad. It's one award show. She will not win Country Artist of the Year. So, sorry, Beyonce, you're not going to win a CMT award this year. Check out Kisney Chesney. He got some news this week. He's releasing a book. He's released a lot of music. He does the stadium tours every year and packs them out and makes a lot of money. He's got a book coming out called Heart Life Music. I read a lot of those books made by country folks, and I'll be reading that Kenny Chesney book as well. And before I start talking about Beyonce, let me take a sip so I can calm myself down. And if you guys have any comments about Beyonce or anything I've talked about, just pop it in there in the comment section. And howdy also to the folks tuning in on Facebook, because we're streaming live over there on Facebook as well. Yes, Beyonce won a Grammy. She won the Grammy for Best Artist of the Year and the Grammy for Best Country Album. Now, you do have to realize that the Grammy Awards aren't chosen by normal people who listen to really country music very much. It's chosen by music insiders. So those music insiders decided that they thought that Beyonce was the country singer of the year, even though to my old ears, she's not singing a heck of a lot of country music. But who was she going up against for Best Country Album? Post Malone, who sounds a heck of a lot more country music than she does. Casey Musgraves, more country sounding. Chris Stapleton, of course, country sounding. He's also a little bit of blues sounding too, And we got Lainey Wilson, but I guess they weren't good enough. They didn't sing country music as good as Beyonce did. Now, before you get upset and say, Kevin, you're being racist and all this, I have said it before and I'll say it again. Beyonce is a beautiful woman. Beyonce has more talent in her little finger than I have in my entire body. She can sing incredibly. She has chosen not to sing traditional country music or anything that is maybe close to country music. It's more country inspired, whatever you want to call it. So I'm still waiting for the day that Beyonce sings some country songs, and I might actually buy some. All right, now it's time for the reason for this episode. I got a lot of information in here, and I thank you all for being tuned in, and for those watching it later as it's being recorded, I thank you for this. This episode is called Fork in the Road, and I'm going to explain in just a little bit what all that means for me in the country music time machine, because my life is changing a lot in the next few months. First, let's take a look back. I started in radio, in country music radio, way back in 1982. J-Cat, who's online here too, he can relate to spinning records and everything. That picture is not from 1982. That is like 1989. I was still in my Don Johnson, Miami Vice phase of life, so I did look a little strange in that picture, but that's I think from 1989 at WYAK Y103 in Myrtle Beach was where that picture was taken. And of course, I was in radio from 82 to 2002 mostly all the time. You see me here on the left with Crook and Chase. Now, I went to the Crook and Chase show in 1989. It may have been in 1990. I can't remember what it was. But it was after Hurricane Hugo hit the Myrtle Beach, Charleston, South Carolina area. He invited us over. I met Buck Owens that night. That was an amazing night. And old Buck, I think, was drinking. You know, he nearly collapsed or tripped on the curtains when he came out on stage. But yeah, an incredible radio life in my career. If you notice that picture, I'll give you a few seconds to look at it if you can identify who that is with me in that picture. I did news a lot on the radio, and that is me and Vice President Al Gore. I interviewed him at the Nashville airport. It was actually after the interview with him, not because it was a bad interview. It was actually after the interview with him that I decided that I need to look to possibly get out of radio. So I later did, but not yet. Before I get into the next part here, I want to remove this from the screen, make it big again. Gracie, come over here. Here's Gracie.
Hi.
Say hi, Gracie.
How's it going?
You know, Gracie's, if you watch the Country Music Time Machine, I always promote Gracie's channel. She is the pop music time machine.
The pop music.
That's right. So if you want the history of pop music, you check out Gracie. Gracie's got some good stuff over there.
Nice to see you guys. I love the chat. The chat is always so fun. You guys are awesome, also unique. I love this. I love this so much. I love live streaming. I love the idea of it. This is amazing. And I'm so glad we can all come together.
That's right. On the front porch.
On the front porch. This is really the front porch
podcast
podcast now. So
yeah, that's right. Thank you so much, sweetie. I saw Gracie walking back there. I had to bring her on the camera. She's a lot prettier than me. You know, she got her looks from her mom, not from me. That's for sure. All right, let's talk about something top secret. You know, those who really know me say, Kevin, watch what you say. You can't say things top secret on YouTube. The FBI will invade your porch and take you to jail. Well, let's hope not. Actually, that poster is from the Magic Attic nightclub, 1987. I was a DJ there, and there was a band there called Top Secret. So I always liked that poster. And it sort of flows into what I'm getting ready to tell you. In a way, my career after radio was top secret. No, actually a commenter, I've mentioned a few times that I travel a lot and I work for Uncle Sam. One commenter put in, he thought I was an astronaut. Now, I don't travel that much. I don't go to outer space. But that is me in that picture. That is me in an astronaut outfit for my job many, many years ago. So, I'm not an astronaut. I only pretend to be one sometimes. But what am I? I've never on this channel told you what I do in my real life. I am a U.S. diplomat. I work for the U.S. Department of State. For the past 23 years, I went to college, while I was in radio, and I got a degree. And then I joined the Department of State in 2002. And since then, I have traveled the entire world, doing my part anyway, in serving my country. And that's breaking news here right now. I've never told anybody that yet, but that's what I do. I do love country music, and I do voice things, and I record things, and I've done that all through the years. Even when I started my career in diplomacy, but I'm not your traditional diplomat. I am a fellow who, my specialty is communications. I have worked at many U.S. embassies all over the world, and I'm going to explain a few of those. And it's my job to make sure the classified and or unclassified communications function properly. That's what I do. That's what I've done for 23 years. My first post, the first place I was ever sent to in 2003 was the incredible country of Brazil. You see me there in a hammock, that was what life was like in Brazil. It was a lot of hard work, but Brazil's a beautiful country, and a lot of it was fun. After that, I went to a place called Mauritius. I bet you that most of you don't know where Mauritius is. Mauritius is a little island off the coast of Madagascar. So if you head east from Africa, you're going to hit the beautiful island of Mauritius. I was stationed there for a while. It is a If God has blessed one place with beauty, it is Mauritius, a beautiful, beautiful tropical paradise, and the people there were incredible. After that, I went to Peru. Viva los peruanos, pues. I learned to speak Spanish a little bit before I got to Peru, of course, because my ex-wife is Peruvian. But we were stationed in Peru, in the wonderful country there. That's where I learned to fly an airplane, actually, was in Peru. I went to flight school there while I was doing my diplomatic duties in Peru. But after Peru, there was a big change. I was one of those knuckleheads that volunteered to go to Iraq. Can you hear the train? I don't know if you can hear it on the microphone or not. There's a train track near me. Maybe they're tuned into the Country Music Time Machine, and they're signaling. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but if you can, it's pretty cool. But yeah, I was stationed in Iraq for a short while. You can see me there in that picture with my flak jacket on and my sandbags there. It was not a fun place to be. Things were blowing up all the time. I'll always remember the 6 o'clock call to prayers across the river, the Tigris River, I guess. It was either the Tigris or Euphrates. I can never remember. And it always seemed to, after those 6 o'clock call to prayers, the incoming mortar rounds would come in. So if any of you folks out there know anything about military war, you know what I'm talking about. It was not a fun time. So I'm glad I'm no longer in Iraq. I went back to Washington, D.C. for a little while. And then I was sent to Ukraine. That was 2010. Spent 3 years in Ukraine, learning to start speaking Russian in Ukraine. I speak Ukrainian in Ukraine as well, but I stuck with the Russian there. Wonderful people, amazing country. Got cold a little bit, but it was an amazing country. But it was even trouble back then because in 2013, just before I left, the Russians were getting ready to invade Crimea. So it was my time to leave anyway. So I left Ukraine. Next stop on the diplomatic trail was Nicaragua. One of the toughest countries I've ever been in. Nicaragua there's a big reason why it's always featured on Survivor. Is you got to be a survivor to stay there. Good folks there, beautiful country, lots of earthquakes. The earth shook all the time. I slept outside a few times because I was afraid the house was going to fall on me. So it was tough in that sense. Crime was bad too. So after Nicaragua, I went and hung out for 3 years with my old buddy Vladimir Putin in Russia. Yeah. I spent some time in Russia. I learned more Russian. It was probably the most exciting, busiest, interesting job I've had overseas. But nothing lasts forever because Vladimir Putin didn't like me very much. So me, along with a few other people, were listed as persona non grata. And what that means is, in historical terms, if a country calls a diplomat persona non grata, it means they hate you and they want your butt out of the country. I was given 4 days to leave Russia, or they would actually lock me up in a prison somewhere in Siberia. Well, I don't mind the snow. That's fine. I don't care about that. I don't think life in Siberia would be very good. So as you can see in that picture there, I got on that chartered aircraft from Omni Air International and flew out of Russia as quick as I possibly could. And actually the rule is I spoke in Russian to a Russian military person. And before I got on that plane, he told me, "Sir, if you return to Russia in the next 10 years, you will be arrested." And thank God I haven't returned to Russia in the next 10 years. Next up on my list, it's almost winding down. 23 years, you can't put all the countries in there. Paraguay, I spent 3 years in Paraguay. That's where I met Donald Trump. As you can see on the picture here. That's Donald Trump, but not the Donald Trump you think, of course. I've never met Donald Trump, but there is a guy in Paraguay named Donald Trump that sells choripan panchos in jugo. I don't remember what the choripan was. The pancho is the hot dog, and the jugo is the juice. So he was a hot dog salesman, and I just thought I'd put that picture. It was the coolest picture I took in Paraguay. So just an interesting picture. I did meet the Donald Trump of Paraguay. And finally, right now, I am stationed in the beautiful country of Belize. I'm in Belize right now. I'm in Tennessee right now, as you can see behind me. But Belize is where I'm currently stationed. Wonderful people there, an amazing country. You know, especially for those in the U.S., if you look for a cool country to go to, they don't have McDonald's or Burger King or Starbucks, but they got some of the most beautiful beaches and the most beautiful people in the world. It's a quick flight from Atlanta or Los Angeles or Miami. Flights aren't that expensive. You should think about it if you've never been down there before. But I have a great staff in Belize, as you can see in this picture. Lots of good folks. You know, the local staff that work at the embassy there are amazing. I love them. I've had a great time with them. They're just incredibly wonderful. And I want to especially mention this person. I'm honored to call this person my friend. If you look on that page right now, you will see that she may look familiar to you. No, we're not getting married. I'm still single. Don't worry about that. That is the great Michelle Kwan. President Biden appointed her to be the ambassador to Belize, and she was the ambassador to Belize for about 2 years, up until a couple of weeks ago. I had the honor of working for her, an amazing person, a beautiful soul, a great heart, and she never let politics get in the way of anything. She never really pushed her politics. She just pushed her kindness and her love. And sadly, she's already gone, but I'll miss her deeply. And one of the other great reasons about being a U.S. diplomat is what you see on the screen there, the U.S. Marines. All you Marines out there, sympathy to all you devil dogs. The U.S. Marines are stationed at every U.S. embassy in the world. I think every U.S. embassy, I think, has classified operations. I think, but they're in every one I've ever been to, and they protect the buildings and the people, and they put their lives on the line for us. So I salute the U.S. Marines. I love them. They've watched my back, not only in Iraq, of course, but also all the other places I've been. But not everything is happy. In my career as a diplomat and country music lover, you know, I'm probably a better country music person than I am a diplomat. It brings up the memories. I've got two to share with you here. One is Victoria DeLong. We worked together in Mauritius. She actually, whether you know it or not, I have a book that's on Amazon. Victoria helped me do a book signing in Mauritius in 2006, I think it was. Well, in 2010, Victoria went to Haiti. An earthquake struck Haiti, and Victoria died in that earthquake. So it's not all great news. It's not all glamour. I don't really have much glamour, even as a diplomat, but folks think that, but it's not true. But I lose friends sometimes. And here is another friend. And this hits hard. It hit hard and very close. This is Sean Smith. September 11th, 2012. He was working in Benghazi, Libya. He was running the communications like I do. He was a type of diplomat that I am, in charge of communications, especially, you know, in and around the U.S. ambassador. Sean was there. Strangely enough, that could have been me. I was in Ukraine at the time, but they asked me to consider going to Libya. Well, because I already been to Iraq and I had family, I said, no, I don't want to do that. Well, Sean went. In some senses, you could say Sean may have gone in my place. Well, as we know, the consulate in Benghazi was attacked by terrorists, and Sean and the ambassador were killed. Every September 11th, more than just September 11th, I think of Sean, not only because we knew each other, we were in the same unit really together, but he was a good fellow. And, so not everything about my career has been incredibly glamorous or happy. So now we come down to a fork in the road. And that fork in the road really started for me last year. Late last year, I decided it was time to consider retirement. Even though it's an honor working for my country and serving in the way that I can, and an honor for the last 2 years doing the Country Music Time Machine. That's a lot of fun. I knew I had to start considering retirement. And really late last year, I made the decision, yep, it's time for me to retire. But then, if you've been watching the news, after President Trump came in, and let me bring up a couple of comments here. Jeff Guitars believes is a fishing paradise. It sure is. They also have great food there. And William May is commenting, all right, rest in peace to all diplomats in service to the USA. Thank you, William. Appreciate that. They are diplomats all over the world right now doing important things. And it's, and in some ways, diplomats do what they possibly can to either help militaries in other countries or try to prevent wars. And that's the most important thing to me. But anyway, thank you for that comment. Anyway, I was saying, the fork in the road, after Donald Trump became president, an email went out that I got about a fork in the road asking or saying, hey, we need to reduce the population of the U.S. government. I have no issue with that. I think it's a good idea. I mean, we need to save the U.S. taxpayers money. And I'm not saying I agree with the way it was done, but I also am, in a sense, a soldier. I salute and follow the orders of the president. So I got this email. And when I first got it, I said, well, whatever. I'm retiring anyway. At that time, I had planned to retire on May 31st. But I got a time to come back here to Tennessee and spending time with family. And I made another decision. And I'm going to show you last night at a Japanese restaurant, surrounded by my family. I responded to that email, that fork in the road email, and I did resign. And I'm going to show you, actually Gracie recorded it when we did it. Take a look.
Okay, let's film the screen specifically.
Button right there.
Adventures.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Oh, thanks.
Did you hit the button?
You sent it.
It was sent. I've officially resigned from the diplomatic service of the United States. And what this means for me is I'll still have to get on a plane tomorrow. I got to return to Belize, which is a wonderful country, wonderful people. But I took this fork in the road, for lots of reasons. But the main reasons are what you see on the screen right now. On the left, you see me and my mom. As you guys may remember from a few episodes back, my mom was in the hospital. She was having a tough time. She's 89 years young, but while I hope she outlives me, I don't know how much longer she's going to be around. And I haven't been with her, in 20, a couple of times a year for 23 years. That picture in the middle is me and my youngest daughter, Alexa. Her mom and I separated and divorced in 2015, and I then went overseas by myself. since 2015. She was 5 years old then, as you can see in the picture. She's seen her dad twice a year. So, excuse me. I think about it, it makes me sad. But that was a major consideration in that. And the other major consideration is that beautiful little girl on the right. That is my first granddaughter, Vanessa. I made a decision. It was time to dedicate more time to my family. I've dedicated 23 years to my country. Now it's time to come back to Tennessee, probably forever, and take care of my family, whether it's my mom, my daughters, got 4 of them, or my beautiful little niece. I do love them. I've missed them. Working overseas for 23 years and seeing your family about twice a year is not fun. It's a tough road. I'm proud to have done it. I do not regret it because I did serve my country, but that time has come to an end. So what does it mean for the Country Music Time Machine? I think it's good news because what's going to happen here, I'm at the Nashville airport at dark 30 tomorrow morning, getting on a plane to Atlanta, then back to Belize. I'll be prepping to pack out, and sometime, probably in March, I will be back here on the front porch. I'll be back near my family. I'm still going to work, whether it's doing radio work or computer work or something. I'm going to do something. I'm 56 years old, so my daughters do think I'm ancient. I'm not super ancient, so I'm going to keep doing things. And the good news about it, I'm going to keep loving doing the Country Music Time Machine. Why do I love it? Because I love country music. I love it because I love history. And I love it because of you guys. Every single day, I look at the comments on the massive videos, whether they're on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or, there's even a couple on TikTok, believe it or not. I love it. And it's a blast for me. It's almost therapeutic. It's an important part of my life. And, it's just where I am. And I'm ready for that next stage. And I'm ready for you folks to join me on that. So please, I know it sounds like an old thing. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Help support this old man in his quasi-retirement after I am no longer a U.S. diplomat and I'm just a country boy in Tennessee. Support the Country Music Time Machine. Tell your friends. Together, let's love the history of country music. And as George Jones and Alan Jackson says, let's preserve it. Let's take care of it. And we do that by putting out these videos, remembering the icons of country music, remembering what country music really sounds like, and just enjoying it together. So that's all I've got for tonight. I hope for those of you who have stayed with me and hung out, thank you. Those watching recorded, I will welcome your comments below. Kevin, you're crazy. I've had that before. But anyway, I love you guys. God bless you all. And as I always say, let's keep it country. Right here on the Country Music Time Machine.
Oh, it's a country music time machine, taking us back to where the grass is green, with twangs and tales from days gone by. Let's ride those old trails beneath the open sky, in our country music time machine, in our country music time machine.